I'm not retired, depending on the definition. So yes, I retired here, but I'm not retired. I started off in engineering, worked in data processing for 25 or 30 years. It was a technology consultant for PricewaterhouseCoopers. I retired from there on October 31st of 2004 and went back to work for them on November 1st, 2004 as a part-time consultant. And I've been doing that up until 2 weeks ago. And I did the thing that most of us do. We started investing, bought a house, bought more property. Property in the early 70s and 80s did quite well until the apartment bust in the early 80s, in which everything went bankrupt. So I started my own business and grew it. And in the typical way of many businesses, you make a small fortune by starting with a larger one. And then I recovered from that, and we did quite well with our investments. And then in '84, we moved from California to Reno because we could buy property here for the equivalent of 50 cents on the dollar to California real estate.
That's remarkable.
And I bought a lot of real estate in Reno, which was not a good thing. Because in 2008 and 2009, the market here dropped by between 60 and 80%, depending upon where you are. So we lost between $1 million and $1.5 million in about a year and a half.
Wow.
So retirement is now continued work. The only company I worked for that had a pension was McDonnell Douglas, which is now Boeing. And I worked for them for 11 years, and I get a wonderful pension of $264 a month for 11 years of your life. Most everything other than that was company-run retirement programs, including PricewaterhouseCoopers. They had a retirement investment program, so we came out of there with a decent amount of money, about $700,000, which is fundamentally what we live on now. Well, it's simple. I mean, compounding works, but you have to start early, and you have to be consistent, and you have to keep your hands off the money. I mean, I made some investments that were less than brilliant, and I did some other things that were not quite that smart. The key was you still put 10% of everything away and forget about it and let it live by itself. Because if you don't have to make a lot of money, if you make $35,000, $40,000, you put 10% away each and every paycheck. By the time you're 65, you got $1 million or more in the bank, which most people could live on, because the income out of $1 million is generally between $80,000 and $130,000 a year.